Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Good evening, fine folk of the internet. Hello, James. What's up, Taurus, Dutch? Yeah, all alone again. Jerry has to take care of family members, so he's off to do things. But I prepared stuff. Hopefully you are all fine. I'm not sure how long my voice will be available tonight. I'm feeling a bit of roof in the speaking department. Also, lightly headed because blood donation day today, so Huzza! Sadly, no beer. Also, no brown lemonade. Can't have everything. So, but this time today, this time I got prepared. Yes, vampires for the win, demons up. Let me show you where's that button I wanted to press. There. So, as you all, or some of you may know, I'm in the current process of playing a Frostgrave campaign with my friend, and the next campaign requires haunted houses. And I don't have any small houses, so I will be building some. Hello, Orinoco. I'm zero positive Taurus, and I'm very positive about that. Hence why I go, because I need my blood once I need it. Oh, Demon Sub, you got the set. That's nice. Wonky Goblin, hello. The set is nice. It's not too pricey, but it's way too easy to make them yourself, I feel. Let me take you down to my desk, if this still works. Hold on a sec. Now we need a wee bit more light. I did prepare some walls, some backs, and some fronts. Now this is XPS foam, roughly cut into, well, 3 to 4 millimeters thick. You could do the Disco Terrain Challenge on Matthew BB Podcast. 2 hour Scrap Heap Challenge. No challenges, please. So, making 5 little boxed houses should be easy enough. But just having plain XPF foam, I guess, is a bit dull. But we have tools for that. Where is it? Here. Rolling pin to the rescue. Hello, Jill. Yes, I have lovely XPS foam. Especially the ones still having the rugged edges. So I did test this, and they will work. I'm just not sure how much work this will be to get it done properly. I think that's pretty nice, decent. So I'm going to do this, and you can tell me nice stories about what you want to do. Have you all considered the fact that it's almost October and the spooky season is upon us? Yes, light drivers, but only after having them, what you call it, painted. Have I chosen the wallpaper yet? Maybe some flowers. Not the hard XPS stuff. That usually takes on shapes very nicely. It's so dense that any additional lines you press into them, they usually retain fairly well. Jill has picked out a very silly Terrain Fest project. Well, we will be looking forward to that then, Jill. Demon Sub is cutting old Gundam card boxes to make cards from them. Yeah, Yeah, it seems a nice idea to just keep the nice pictures from the box and get rid of the actual boxes. How many do we have now? 4. Let's rotate this for a bit of a variation. We do not want repeating patterns on our wall now, do we? It's harder pressing down on these than it looks, sadly. And one thing, they start to warp once the pin is rolling over them, but I guess we can manage. Taurus, I'm pretty sure Jill is not nicking any ideas. I think they have enough ideas of their own. Much easier, or much messier than that. So doing small houses made out of single bricks. Wonky Goblin is starting Zombie Goblin faction. So by starting a Zombie Goblin faction, you mean you're going to sculpt them, or do you just take some goblins and zombify them? That's it, Jill's opening a quarry. Yes, a rounded corner punch is a nice addition to the hobby tool arsenal, I find. Especially with more and more games going digital. An XPS foam quarry could be interesting. Good evening, Zork. Hello. I hope the stream didn't glitch. I don't have dropped frames, so that might be just buffering on the side of Twitch or your side. Oh, and for anybody who hasn't been looking at Discord in the last half hour, you remember the €5 set from Flying Tiger that I mentioned? This is the current state. I'm pretty much liking this set more and more. I think it's one of the most least expensive kits I've ever purchased. But it really lends itself for adding your own details. No, you really can't. Even if I would have just ruined it as a broken down tower, that still would have been worth the money, I guess. So this is now my walls. All the walls that I theoretically need. So these go onto the spare pile. Now we need 5 back sides. They had different sets around, but I didn't bother looking. I didn't want to go the... Do the common mistake I usually try to avoid is buying all the stuff and getting nothing finished because of sudden influx of work that has to be done. Will you be planting a shrubbery to go with the houses? Maybe. The funny thing is, or the nice thing is that Bits of War, aka Cromlech, who are the makers of the official terrain, have actually so kindly put out the measurements of the finished buildings within the description of the article you are potentially buying. So I'm pretty close to their sizing. And what's even best, I don't have to worry about basing, because they fit perfectly on an old CD. like they made them to. It's a wee bit weird. Now the last one will be interesting because he's got a hardened piece of outside protective layer kind of thing. And I couldn't be asked to cut more from the middle sections. So there's the second to last pass on these. Now I'm pretty sure this side will not take on any structure. I'd be highly surprised. Barely. Barely any. Well, this will be the inside then. Yeah, he really does decent work. Could have gone worse. And now for the front door. Gojira! I'm not sure where the small speckles of dirt now come from. I'm pretty sure I never used this roller pin with anything dark, so that's odd. Plus, when these are done, I feel they will fit well with my Brock in progress. That might or might not be part of Terrain Fest if I choose to participate. Have you lot all been doing your diligence and commenting on the Conflict 47 videos to make sure that you get your chance of winning? Hello, James Cutts. I'm using a cobblestone rolling pin to make structures on walls for tiny little houses for Frostgrave. No, not gingerbread houses. Doggies? What do you mean by doggies, Mr. Toros? I don't understand. What about sword weirdos? And Orinoco is trying not to look at Conflict 47. You know what brings me great joy? That you also can't tell how the bloody thing is spelled. It's just case. Conflict, just case. No C's in there whatsoever. Oh, doggy houses. Yeah, could be. So now we have the front, we have the back, and we have the sides. Yes, James Scott's Conflict. Now we need glue. It's a dumb name, yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's some marketing reason behind that. My pin box is somehow lacking pins. Where did all my pins go? James is just waiting for the tank skirmish version. Well, you can always make up your own version, I guess. Cheers. Didn't get it last time, why break tradition? True. Oh god. The glue has set on the cap. I'm pretty sure this will now go horribly wrong. This is all things I planned on doing on a very short notice in my head. Let's see if this works. I don't know. Also, forgive me if I'm not really good at showing this into the camera, but I think you all get the gist of what I'm doing. No, the finger isn't hobby related, but thanks for noticing. That's where the Red Cross pinches you for looking at your values of iron in your blood when going to a donation. That's the other pinch that I got. Yeah, it's vampire related to a degree. The Dutchman isn't wrong there. So what I haven't calculated was that the foam, because it's so thin, would start to warp when applying the roller pin. So if any of you watching now or watching later on the YouTubes want to try this yourself, I'd recommend cutting these sheets not at 3mm, but go the full 5mm as I had intentioned, but then I was too lazy to measure exactly. And maybe get yourself different methods of adding structure. Oh no, James cut accidentally bolt action Frenchies. Yeah, they might not want to be square, but at least squarish. And it's not helping the assembly process if the outside is going anywhere. Did I add glue to this side? Yes, I did. The nice thing about the express wood glue is it dries fairly quickly. So the bond is quite easily done. Go there. Ow. Stabby, stabby. That's not what I wanted. Stupid needle. Way better. If I had, I would use rubber bands for this, but I don't have that many rubber bands. So I need to make do with what I have, which is sewing pins. Oh! Opened your wet palette for the first time in 4 months. I find I'm using what do you call it? Denaturated water, distilled water, and that tends not to go bad when leaving it sitting for longer times. Oh no, I'm dripping. I'm not even applying pressure to the glue bottle, and it's just oozing. I might just put this there. Last time I bought large amounts of rubber bands, they all went bad, literally. When I wanted to use them, they just fell apart. Which was annoying. I hope you lazy lot are doing hobby yourself and not just watching me struggle putting together tiny pieces of XPS foam with glue and needles, trying not to stab myself. Brittle is an understatement. They just went completely to dust. Only if you use them with too much pressure, but I would only need so little pressure to just counteract the dent the rolling pin has made into the or the warpage that was introduced into the XPS foam. That went nowhere. I was thinking of maybe creating something similar to what you have on certain carrier bags, like a long piece of string with one of these small bolts attached, where you can just pull and have a little locking mechanism. Terrain Fest hasn't started yet. If I understand Jerry correctly, yesterday I think it was talking about it. Somewhere in October it will start, but no date yet. Since theme week. No, this is not early work for that. That is for my Frostgrave campaign with my mate. We need 5 little huts to be fighting over, hiding treasures in. Similar problem with the bell tower I had last week, which irritatingly worked better than expected with my very improvised two-prong approach. Yeah, engraving with a laser cutter is a thing. Yeah, still, that's more or less the plan here. It has monsters. But don't you love the game for it? It's so ridiculously easy to play. It's not even funny. Ah. I really should have cut these thicker. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, but tournaments need L-shaped form. $40K tower. Yeah, but potentially. I put more work into the 2 pieces of ladders that I made for it than for the actual tower. I'm going to run out of needles. Plonk. Oh no, emergency stop to the hobby shop because you're running out of green. That's terrible. How could that have happened? Who knows? So now I don't want to mix up the interior and the exterior. And especially not do 2 doors, 1 house. That would leave 1 house with no doors, which would be a wee bit hard to play in. You go here. And you go here. But in all seriousness, this is looking better than I was expecting it to do for a quick and dirty rush job of a terrain. I'm pretty sure I won't be reusing the tower, probably. But then again, now I have it, why not use it? 3, that's 3 houses. Nice. Nice. Oh look, I can stack them. That makes watching them dry way easier. My hands are all getting iffy. Now these 2 need to remain for last, yeah. Yeah, the tower can be improved, but at the same time, it would be much more fulfilling to actually do the tower the way I had envisioned in the first place, hadn't I not been strucken down with the flu and just be laying in bed for a day and a half. I mean, I had it planned. The plans were in my head. Even took notes. Again, inspired by the official kit from I want you to stay from Chrome Black, and yeah, that just didn't go as well as I planned. Fucking hell! Why is this one fighting me? You are going to be glued if you want or not. Here comes the pin. Ow. How? See an old man struggle with XPS foam, wood glue, and needles. Jeebus Christ. Needles and pins. See, I win. Yeah, I know you're all waiting for that moment where I'm going to stab myself horribly. You lot watched way too many Big Clive videos. He's the one for stabbing and electrocuting. I'm a professional amateur. I won't be stabbing myself. At least, I hope so. Would be very fairly embarrassing if I were to stab myself now, would it? Oh yeah, Electro Boom. He's a professional boomer. No, he does it for comedic effect, I think, most of the time. Oh, his travel videos when he's trying to electrocute himself on hotel appliances. He must be a wee bit mad, mustn't he? I don't think I have the patience to do the method of cutting individual bricks in XPS, making houses and tower that way. Let me tell you, the cutting of the bricks is actually a very meditative, relaxing thing to do. It might sound horrible at first, but once you get into the flow, especially if you have a hot wire cutter, it's just the building. That's another part. If you never enjoyed playing for a decent amount of time with, let's say, things like Lego, you're going to be very annoyed about the progress you're having. But then again, it can be very meditative. Jesus words. Have I missed the hot wire cutter trucks? No, you haven't. Because, reason one, the hot wire cutter is living in the garage. There's no internet there. And secondly, I did this pre-stream. I prepared these for stream. I'm weird like that. And just like that, almost done. Four down, one to go. Also, you don't shock yourself on the hot wire cutter. The only thing that will happen is you might burn yourself. Plus, the hot wire cutter lives in the garage for fume reasons. It just smells terrible when you're cutting foam. And I've been told the fumes are not that healthy to begin with. Though people say that about a lot of things. I don't believe them. They just don't want me to have any fun, that's all. Yeah, but I really should have gone with 5 mil. This is what laziness gets you. Way too thin walls and potential to prick yourself in the finger with a needle. Which is all the more funny if you could hear the music that's playing in the background, which is currently Cradle of Filth. So I might be screaming at the top of my lungs. Yeah, the airbrush is also living in the garage. And hopefully when weekend is over and we've hopefully gotten rid of most of the crap that has been sitting there at the flea market on Friday, I'm finally maybe able to use that space again. Though I won't be holding my breath. I've said that one too many times. The internet isn't the problem. I could just I would need a wireless repeater in the living room. That's basically sharing a wall with the garage. But currently there's literally more room in my cramped hobby space work room where I'm currently sitting than there is in the garage. There's too much stuff in it that I need to get rid of. But that's a story I've told so many times. And it's it. Daman Cave. Yeah, that's if only it's just a room I occupy and share with a load of crap belongs to the family. Now, will you stick? Monster. And just like that, five buildings to play in. Counting the time I used cutting the foam in the garage, I'd say we're about an hour in. Now, here comes the thing which I don't think was intentionally made by Cromlech, is the fact. Let's grab him. That if you use a old CD, it fits almost perfectly. Not quite, but almost. Do I have a water feature? Hold on. My water feature is the easiest thing I've ever built. I can't get it out of the box now, but it's basically just a piece of blue paper in a large, cut a large circle. So, that's it. Now, let's try this. This is how it's supposed to be going on to the... coffins for vampires to sleep in. Yes. Yes. Let's say yes. I'm not... I can't remember quite what the actual story for that mission is. Oh, Jill, there's nothing wrong in doing your own greenery. Especially if you can make them cheaper your own way. Yes, Google, I would like to have you continue play music in the background. Who would have thought that at some point my software pirating days would actually pay off? Well, I'm unsure how well the disc will take on paint and anything that's what you call it, spackle for basing material. Worst case scenario, I just have to drown it in glue and then drown it in sand. I won't tell you. Since I haven't stabbed myself, I feel there's no need for a altar of corn at the moment. No, it's not for LED lighting. It's for the treasure to be placed at. Plus the added creature comfort of that's the center point of your terrain piece. We do measurements from there. But in all seriousness, it'll just get some kind of tape over it and then it'll get glued. Yes, not stabbed yet. I know you are all looking forward to some blood and gore. Because the stream says it's for adults, but come on, give me a break. I'm not cutting resin or metal, at least not today. There might be different days when that might happen. But not today, my friends, not today. Blood for the blood god. Yes, yes, yes. Speaking of, I need something to drink. Now that. As I just said, James, if I'm having more time to really get down with these, I will use just some tape over it and then cover the whole CD in spackle or wood glue and sand. Depends on how well the spackle is going to stick to the CD. Why would I have glued that the wrong way? Where is the actual wrong way? They're all the same. Don't try to make me question myself. I'm doing that all the time already. You just want to make me feel bad. You horrible people, you. Laughing there at your computer screens. All the glue now sticking to my fingers. Yeah, so this is 1, 2, 5 little huts. More or less ready to be gamed with on the table. That went way better than expected. Let's put them aside for drying. Will the CDs be getting Windows on them? They actually contain decentralized backup copies of Star Trek Enterprise, the NX-01 version. So, Dutch, as you're still here, if you haven't started building your kit, that door is a nightmare. Not because it's hard to build, but they went out of their way to cut the exact shape out of the door frame. But if you use the little hinges they supply, they go here where I have cut holes. They sit so far apart you can't close the door. So just as a heads up, that might well be worth investing a few minutes in thinking about how to do them. Now, that was much quicker than I thought it would be. Terribly sorry. Well, we could just cut this and then go back here, and I'm grabbing. Oh, 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 oh. That shouldn't have happened. Somebody. Oh. Go back to white. Yes. I thought assembly would take much longer. I would have guessed twice as long. Maybe I'm just impatient. I don't know. You decide. Yeah, kind of technically difficulties. It's it's a wonky contact on the keyboard, which has a USB port which supplies power to my front-facing LEDs. I'm hoping you lot have done some hobby now and not just watch me do weird things with needles. Yes, James. Good question, Dutch. How is your hobby room coming along? Have you finally managed to complete your task? James Gotts has painted 6 Nationale Volksarmee in the correct green. Wait for glue to dry. Who has time for that? Jill is looking for paint storage ideas. Orinoco's clipped some Forge Fathers, good stuff. Taurus is basing Warpath. Now, I spent enough blood today. Jill, have you... are you inclined to go vertically with your paints? Do you want something that's easy to access, or do you really just need some kind of storage? Denley painted Heroes 3 minis earlier. Now he's eating chocolate. Good idea, what's up? And the wonky goblin is doing the usual thing, sculpting a goblin. Good night, Dutch. You sure you're meaning lipstick display stands, not nail polish stands? James' stuff is all in tubs, works, but that's the reason he has 4 bottles of Russian uniform. Well, my current paint setup is rather simple. If I can grab it. It's a piece of wood with holes in it. That's all. I got 2 of these, and then in my painting station there's a small section similar to that to keep paints. But then again, I don't have as many paints as many of you have. Jill, if you haven't done so already, might I suggest you sorting your paints and getting yourself a number of how many you really need to store that are easily grabbable. If I were to make this a pure hobby room, I might empty one of my drawers and put all my paints in there. But alas, this is my office, so I can't. Hello, Lazagram. Welcome. Hello. Nice to see you around. Yeah, I think that's also a good thing to do, Taurus. Separating your different kinds of colors so that you if you're wanting to, excuse me, if you want to paint quickly with speedy paints or contrast paints, have them at one side. If you want to do, I almost said proper painting. If you want to take more time and effort into your painting, use regular paints or oils. Well, Joe, that's par for the course. You always, it's like the question, which paint is the best paint for this job? It's the paint you got. You don't need to run out and buy paint unless you really need something you don't have, like a basic color like black, red, white, or blue. But yeah. See, Onoko, I had tinkered with the idea of these MDF stands that have been around for some time now. And similar to the nail polish stands that Taurus was talking about, there's just too much wasted space in them for some reason, I feel. I think personally for me, I would, if I had time, money, and motivation, I would do something like a travel suitcase that you could just flip open and all your paints are present, and just have it sitting next to me with my painting station in front of me. And if I'm not painting, just close the lid and put both aside. But then again, I really don't have that many paints in regards to many other people's. Yeah, toolbox are really just something that's not as deep as a toolbox. It's just big enough to accommodate all the dropper bottles. Maybe have an insert in the in that case, in the suitcase, toolbox, whatever you want to call it, where you'll have your paints ready to go. You know, something like these. What do you call them? They do look like a large wooden case where people tend to carry paintings around. That feels like something along the lines that you could use, or just the classic mechanic toolbox that just opens up wide. A sewing case for needles and stuff that also just opens to the sides and has multiple layers of shelving, for lack of a better term. That would work if you can find one where the actual compartments are high enough. I feel that that's the biggest problem you're going to run into. Let me hold on a sec. So something like this. But I feel, yeah, I see already. If you put your paint in, you can see it's way too high. So in this case, the top layer might be Games Workshop colors, and the lower compartment, even that is too shallow. Doesn't work. Not really. So you need to find something that's similar to this, but higher. How about holding all your paints on a tiny sushi train running around the edge of your painting area? That would be something special. Somebody tell Lloyd. Having a paint train. Lloyd, paint train. Isn't that a grand idea? Well, it's always good to ask at multiple places. If I remember, I will be answering your question again in the forum, just to have the interaction. As you said, the forum needs interaction. Hello, Eczema Beard? Is that how you pronounce it? Eczema Beard? Even if your new storage survives contact with your first project, the second a new paint range is announced, or you just feel you need to up your game with different paints. Hello, Eric. Beard. See, James, I already knew somebody would be picking up new paints again. I had said that I don't have many paints, but boy, do I have a collection. Starting with the very old hex pots from the mid-90s Games Workshop paints. Speed Paints 1, Speed Paints 2, Army Painter New and Old, Vallejo Air, and some random interesting other paints. So, yes. Bobcat paints. That's a name I had never heard before. Sounds more like some heavy working equipment, a digger or something. Oh, speaking of paints, and I know Dutch, who just left us, already knows this, but the Haunted House Mansion MDF kit I was building, it comes with a very cheap, nasty brush and a very cute set of paints. Look at these. So we have blue and a orange and some kind of purpley and a black and something else. Oh, a dark green, yes. It's just you're supposed to use this to paint this. Just how? The paints have consistencies of mud. Let's have a look. Nope, actually very liquid. Quick, close them again. That might be because these sets are new and not sitting on the shelves for ages. Ah, okay. Bobcat paints similar containers to these. So paint by numbers paints. It's hard to explain the feel of the brushes. Wonky. Yeah, that's the flying tiger thing. But it just feels absolutely like nothing. I feel the best thing you could do with this is just slosh some weird cheap paints around. Yeah, it's the crafting kit crap. They could readily just leave them and put a sign on them. You supply your own paints, but they don't. But yeah, this is, and especially this turned out way better than I thought. Just using And now this is going to be very funny. The cheap hobby knife of my daughter with the to be cutting the wavy shingles. It was a bit of work, annoyingly, but turned out nice. Yeah, Airfix and Revell also had some kind of cheapy paints, though they were enamel and not what you call it, acrylics. At least the Revell ones. I don't know about the Airfix paints, but the Revell paints are enamel, or were. Could be different by now. But yes, 5 little houses built quickly, cheaply. Let's see. I might do some ruining on the top to make them not as weirdly just lacking a roof. And if I can find the time, prime them, and maybe add a wash or something quick. I still have a little more than a week to complete these, so fingers crossed. Hello, Nick. When did you sneak in? I missed you. Or did you just come in quietly, hoping that nobody might notice? Oh, God. Got glue everywhere. Streaking crime for life. Yeah, something like that. I guess I'll be using craft paints for a basic grey or something. And then just dry brush the ever-living hell. Let me see. I'm really sorry for all the coughing. It seems like my last... what do you call it? My last flu break had a little more to give than just fever for 48 hours. Oh, fucking hell, go away. Now, how did this work? I need to look up on how this works. Hold on a second. Oh, God. I just want to copy and paste. Now this. And now here. Blood Bowl was always grand. And I've guessed you were from Mastodon, to be fair. Most of newly arrivals now just come from Mastodon, which I find great. And if I could get my PearTube instance to work properly as a streaming service, I would be inclined to do so as well. But sadly, that doesn't work as well. A diorama on a CD. Yeah, CD is a lot of space, James. I like Mastodon, Jill. I've been on that network now for 8 years. It's like Twitter in the early days, but with the benefit that you can choose where to join in. So if you want more information on that, give me a short DM on the forum or anywhere, and I will make sure that I post something for you there. Oh, and CD diorama, my entry for the beach painting competition in July? Question mark? I've used CDs for a lot of terrain. So, as my voice is just going out the window, I randomly selected some poor lad in Ireland doing hobby right now. Some of you might know mediocre hobbies, and I will just put the rate on here and bid you all a fond goodbye. Hope to see you next week. Hope you enjoy your evening. Goodbye. Does this work? 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off!